Hello there everybody, a very good morning to you all, good afternoon to you all, and welcome back to HowToTrade.com, where we're going to be covering the US inflation live for you. Always cover these big live events for you across our social media channels and of course in our trading room as well. So really good to see everyone who's tuning in today. So thank you very much for those who are active on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook channel, on our LinkedIn, on our X, and also on of course in our trading room as well. So a couple of really exciting things to go through today, which I'm looking forward to. Hopefully be a really nice day in the markets as well. Hopefully we've got the middle of the week. That's tend to be when we get some volatility coming into the markets, and also of course it is that massive inflation print, which we're going to talk about in a bit of detail. So we've got 10 minutes to go until that release, and I'm going to cover all of the volatility live as it happens. If there are anyone if there is anyone out there who has any questions or concerns about the US inflation print, what markets to look at, trades that they're in that maybe they're a little bit confused or stuck about, then if you just drop anything, messages in the chat room, messages to me, messages in the live chat on YouTube or anything like that, and I'll be able to answer those questions for you live on stream as well. Good morning to you, Devon. Really good to see you. Thank you very much for the message, and I hope you are doing well. Hello to you, Dan77 as well. I don't know why I said Dan77. It's just Dan. Hello to you, Dan. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for the message this afternoon. So I'm not on at the usual time. I'm normally on a little bit earlier than this, but of course we want to be covering the inflation print live for you. Now, before I do that, some really exciting news with our latest trading competition. So that trading competition is now finished. We have our 3 winners, and a very massive congratulations go to Olive 2017, who's won our competition, which is amazing. Chemical 001, you've come second, which again is no small feat. Melito Saman Singh has come third in our competition. And for those of you who weren't aware, it was a trading competition where you opened up a demo account, and if you made the most in terms of percentage on your account across a month period starting on August the 12th to September the 11th, then you won a share of $10,000. So Olive 2017, you've won $5,000 in real cash. Chemical, you won $3,000 in real cash. And Melito Saman Singh, you've won $2,000 in real cash. So very well done to you. And by the way, there was 5,600 of you who joined the competition. So we just like to say a very massive thank you to those who got involved. And of course that shouldn't be our last one. If there's any news around any more coming out, then I will be I'll be sure to let you know when there's more competitions, and you'll see it on our website, and we'll promo it before it's out, so you'll be fully aware of when to start. Dillaby, hello to you, good afternoon. Over on the YouTube channel, we've also got Wisdom T-Man, hello to you as well, and I hope you're doing well. And thank you very much for the message today. On top of that as well, and I promise this is the last one, we've got Switch Markets is our brokerage, and they've got an amazing deal at the moment where they'll match your deposit up to $5,000 in credits. So if you want to find out more about that, you can message me, or you can just head over to switchmarkets.com, and you'll be able to find some more information about that as well. Bobby, hello to you. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon to you, Matthew. I hope you're doing well as well, and thank you very much for tuning in. So, what is it that we are bothered about today? What is it we need to focus on? Well, of course, it's US Inflation Day. We've got 7 minutes until that release. And let me just point you in the direction of where to find this news as it comes out. If you head over to HowToTrade.com and you go onto our resources and onto our trading tools, if we go down to our economic calendar, you will notice that when we go to high impact news, you will see that we've got in the next 6 minutes, consumer price index data, year on year, month on month. We get, food and energy prices as well. That's our core, excluding food and energy is our core consumer price index. And that's our primary gauge for inflation in the economy. And of course, it's the US release, so it's very important. So yeah, that's the figures that we need to, or that's the data that we need to focus on. What are the estimates for it? Well, previously the year on year inflation figure was 2.9%. The Federal Reserve's target is 2%, and you can see that the estimated figure is down at 2.6%. So we're expecting a softer inflation print today. So we'll see how that one goes. We'll see if that one comes in. I want to know what your predictions are. What do you guys think inflation is going to come in at today? My prediction is for 2.5%. And what would that mean for the markets? Well, I think that would mean a softening in the US dollar. And I think that would maybe mean a little bit of a surge in the stock market. If I'm being honest, in truth, the sort of 2 to 3% range on this inflation figure is something that the Federal Reserve are comfortable with. There is more emphasis at the moment on the US jobs market rather than inflation. So for those of you who have been around trading maybe for the past couple of years, you're probably used to this inflation print being the be-all and end-all. It's the biggest thing in the month, inflation, because the Federal Reserve are constantly trying to fight inflation. However, what's happened is as inflation has fallen into the sort of range that the Federal Reserve are comfortable with, they're now switching policy. They're now starting to cut rates. Now it's a question of how weak is the jobs market? How weak is the US economy as a result of all that hiking? And therefore, that puts the consumer price index releases probably just in sort of that second or third tier, whereas it was in the first tier. So I'm a little bit skeptical on whether we're going to see this massive directional move unless we get an actual figure which is way away from the estimates on either side. Okay, we've had some really nice success in some of our trade ideas in the trading room. The first one I wanted to talk about is one I've posted in the trade room itself. One I've posted this morning in the trade room itself, but it's one I went through on yesterday's stream. So it's important to obviously tune into my streams to find out my trade analysis and my trade ideas. Now, essentially, what I had marked was this Fibonacci retracement on the daily time frame, really ranging from this high here to this low, right? So that's our Fibonacci retracement. Now, if we break it down one by one, you can see that what I've got two areas that I look to basically trade from. The 38.2 to the 0.5, that's my golden pocket, and my golden area is between 61.8 and 0.5. You can see within that Fibonacci retracement, the price came down, and basically this blue line is the 50% of this fair value gap, which is this orange rectangle. So hopefully you're staying with me. If I'm confusing anyone, then feel free to stop me. But all of this stuff is in our trading academy, so you can learn these concepts. We had a beautiful textbook reaction from that 50%, and then I went down onto the lower time frames. I went down onto the 15-minute, and I noticed within that 15-minute time frame, when we had that reaction, you can see a really nice bullish order block or demand zone, and that's where I executed my trade. I was tagged in yesterday at 5 o'clock, and look what happened as a result. We're now moving really nicely. What we're going to need for this to push higher today, I would say that the stock market is likely to push higher if we get a figure around the estimate. So nothing to panic about. We don't want a sudden collapse in inflation, but we don't want an inflation print which is sort of way above the estimates either, because the stock market doesn't like inflation. And so a figure around 2.6% I think will be perfect fuel to maybe push the S&P 500 higher. But in truth, I'm not sure how much it's going to affect the stock market today. I think it's going to affect the US dollar more. My sort of key level target for my trade personally is up at 520, and that's basically the top of this wick. I do think we could get a push up to 550, and I am probably going to try and hold some of the trade to get a move up towards my all-time highs. I've not seen enough evidence yet to suggest we're going to see this massive recession, this massive stock market crash. If we do, then I'll change my view, of course. So we'll see how that one goes. 2 minutes to go to the release. Just let's touch on the US dollar just firstly. We are sort of forming a bit of a base here. It looks pretty vulnerable still. I would still say I'm bearish on the US dollar if I'm being honest. I did have a really nice USD CAD trade, which again was posted a couple of weeks ago, and I closed that out yesterday. Pretty much the majority of it. I've got a tiny bit of it left. That's working nicely. That's my dollar long side trade. I do like dollar yen to the downside as well. I made that really clear yesterday in the stream. And we've got 1 minute to go, so let's just stop talking. 55 seconds to go, but I do like more dollar yen downside, and we'll talk about that after the release. We'll see how that one goes. Good luck to all those trading today. Again, softer inflation means a softer US dollar. It's probably going to cause gold to rally as well. But higher inflation, we're probably going to see that continuation in that dollar base, and we're maybe going to see inflation to the dollar tick higher as well. So I'm going to, I'm going to go on gold, and I'm going to drop it down to the 1 minute time frame, and we're going to see the volatility as it comes. I'm going to study all these markets as it comes. If anyone gets the release, we've got 15 seconds to go. If anyone gets the print, do let me know. I've got it here as well, but if you get it before me, then you're doing well. So let's just see how this one goes. It's 5 seconds to go. Good luck to everybody trading US inflation. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Big surge lower. Is inflation higher than expected? .3% on the core. Stock market is moving lower. Big spike lower. 2.5%. Wow, look at that for a reaction. That's a higher core PCE. The markets are not a fan of that. Quite clearly, because that's quite a big spike low. I'm looking at the German stock index there. Look at the Nasdaq go. Wow. Okay, interesting. We could be getting, where was that 15-minute? It's all the way down here. We could get that fill. Overall, what am I seeing? I'm seeing 0.3% on the core PCE, 2.5%, slightly softer on the year-on-year figure. My Bloomberg's behind because I'm a little bit delayed, but there we go. But there we go. Okay, interesting. Let's see how this one goes then. So we're looking at a little bit of a dollar rally initially off the back of the release. How much can that be sustained? Let me just quickly check the chat room just to see if anyone's having a look. FaZe Kadara was short on the pound versus the US dollar. Well done. Thank you very much, Dan, for posting that as well. How's everyone getting on with that? How do people feel about that? Are they happy with that? Is that something that they're happy with? Don't know if I got... I'm not sure how negative that report is for the stock market. USD yen. I've just got a. Oh wow, it's all going off. I can't really. USD yen. I've just had a tag on one of my levels. It was a 4-hour. Here he goes. Look at this. For those of you who like to trade the trend rider strategy, which is a strategy in our trading academy, it is in the trading room and it's in our trading strategies. For those of you who like to trade the trend rider, we're getting a potential entry here on dollar yen. I think that dollar yen can test 140. 2.65 to 1. Look at that. Very interesting indeed. Look at that reaction. We're starting to see that reaction come through already. Have we just touched it or have we just missed it? Basically, this strategy uses the EMA 12 and the EMA 36. And we've got a test of that EMA 12, sort of. Interesting. Okay, right. Let's just go down. What's happened on gold? Has anything happened on gold? A little bit of a spike lower. Again, I'm not entirely convinced that this is going to be the true move. I'm really not. What markets are you guys looking at? Let me know. Let me know in the comments what markets are you guys looking at. Look at that. Nice rejection from the stock market. Although the month-on-month figure was slightly soft, although the core figure was slightly higher, that yearly figure was 0.4% lower than what we saw than the year-on-year figure we had last year. It's a little bit of a mixed bag, don't get me wrong, but overall, I don't think this has changed my view on trying to sort of buy any dips we see in this stock market. I would love it if we can come down to 450 here in the S&P 500. I think that could be a really nice potential support area coming into play. So we'll see. We've got an hour till the US opened. Hang on, we've had a... Dillaby says he's happy with this. He shorted on the euro dollar and closed it a few seconds ago. There we go. You can't really argue with that. It's a nice bit of profit for you. Congratulations. Oh man, that's so close to tapping me in on dollar yen. I'm really, really annoyed about that. So I mean, we're holding on to that spike higher just about on the US dollar. Overall, what's it said on the? So it's saying on Bloomberg the headline, because I always like to read the headline figure, how they viewing it, and they're basically saying that the core PCE as the headline is core PCE rises in the US, but you know I'm seeing that main inflation fall. Look at gold. Once again, gold is reacting from this bearish order block. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9 times it's failed at that high. Is this the end? Is this the end of the bull run for gold for now? Not too sure. Any messages in the chat room? Anyone wants me to have a look at? Dan says he's short on USD Swiss and USD Yen. He's going in again. He's closed all his positions before CPI and he's going in again. Just be careful, Dan. Be careful. It's choppy. It's volatile. It can be heartbreaking trading times like this. Just be careful. I do like dollar yen downside though, and you can see that reaction is really nice. In fact, if I was on the ball a little bit more, if I'd have just come on the stream a little bit more, I would have seen that. Because that supply zone there coincides perfectly with that EMA 12 on the 4-hour time frame. So that would have just been a really potentially nice trading opportunity that I missed, but there we go. Okay, interesting. Anything anyone wants me to have a look at? Let me know on YouTube. Not sure if anyone's on X. Let me check. Okay. Taking that low out, sort of hanging around there. This isn't an area I'm looking to trade the S&P 500, to be honest with you. Not looking to trade it around where we are now. I think I might need to wait for these markets to settle a little bit more. That dollar spike is happening now. I'll be honest with you guys, I did have a nice trade today on the German stock index, basically. And I'm not massively confident in it, but it followed my rules. Again, I had my higher time frame fib down in towards my golden pocket area. There was the 50% of the FEG, but you can see that reaction from that 38.2, which was, tempting. And basically, I traded it from this area. That was my trade. It seems to be working out okay. I thought I was going to get stopped out. I put my stop loss to entry, closed a little bit of it off. I only risked 0.5%. But as you can see, that is working out quite nicely and it's acting as a nice support area. And I'm really looking for the German stock index to push up towards potentially this 18,500 level. That would be good if it can get up to there. Gold's really, really feeling the heat now. Wouldn't surprise me though, guys. It would not surprise me if the buyers step back in at some point. In fact, I'll tell you where my area for gold is. Let me just quickly get rid of this, make the chart a bit cleaner. Sorry if it's a little bit messy, but it's not too bad. Sell side liquidity at these lows. Bullish order block down at 2457. I've had that buy limit placed for quite some time. to be brutally honest with you, I've had that buy limit placed for quite some time. So I'm hoping it can continue lower, in my opinion, down towards this 2457 area, and I've sort of covered the 2450 as well. I'm hoping we can get down there. Okay, let's have a look at dollar yen, because we are now getting that real test of that EMA 12. Look at that. There's the test. Right, that is the entry. So this is a live dollar yen trend rider trade. For those of you who want to know about the trend rider, it is over in our trading academy. Education. We've got all the strategies there. This is the trend rider strategy. I do normally do a stream every single week on this one. We are really, I quite like the look of more dollar yen downside. You can actually see as well that if we're going to talk about new lower lows, etc., we've made a new lower low as well. Yeah, okay, I do like that, but there is a little bit of a dollar spike here. I'm not quite sure why. I think maybe it's probably because we've all but confirmed the 25 basis point rate cut rather than the 50. Yeah, look, there's that pendulum. It swung towards 25 basis points now. It's got 71% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut rather than a 50. That was more like a 50-50 not too long ago. That's why we're getting that dollar release, because a lot of I have to say, the markets were pricing in 50 basis points with what I'm seeing on the dollar and what I was seeing elsewhere. The markets were really pricing in 50 basis points, and I wasn't quite sure on that. Okay. I'm going to tell you hello to you. A very warm welcome to our stream. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. Dan, I believe, Dan's right. I think they are going to do. Oh, FaZe Cadera, is the pound dollar long setup still valid? Yeah. Yeah, it's still valid. Definitely. This is all within. You got to remember, you got to sometimes zoom out and think about the bigger picture. That is a clean bull run, right? Nice break above this structure high. For me personally, I like the idea of somewhere around this 1.3 area to act as a support area for the pound dollar. So I'm not sure how much more selling this has got. We'll see. It depends on what sort of data comes out, etc. But I do like the idea of more downside more upside for the pound dollar, at least another run at that high. If we're going to reverse after that, then that's absolutely fine. How's my German stock index doing? No, come on. Looking for that push higher here. Really want to get that break above this high. Hopefully we can get that, fingers crossed. Okay, fantastic stuff, everybody. So that was Inflation Live. To summarise, slightly higher on the core PCE. The Federal Reserve won't like that. The markets are leaning now towards 25 basis points. That's freed up room for potentially some more dollar upside. How much upside will there be in there? I'm not 100% sure. I like dollar yen to the downside if we're going to play dollar weakness. And if we're going to play dollar strength, I do like dollar CAD to the upside. That's sort of my two things. Hello to USB. I'm still bullish on the stock market until I know more. That wasn't a print which screams bearish stock market to me at all. So I'm still trying to get in on those dips. I'm in the German stock index at the moment. I'm looking for those levels on the S&P 500 as well. We post our analysis every single day over at HowToTrade.com in our trading room. Shane will be up later on to trade more of the fallout of US inflation. So make sure you tune into his stream later. And if anyone doesn't have any questions in the meantime, then I'll be available in the trading room as I always am. So make sure you ask any questions that you're not sure about. Okay? Thank you very much. Take care. Trade well. Trade safe today. It could be choppy. And thank you very much. Cheers.